Hi everyone. Good evening. How are you all? I'm Dhwani from Geeks and I welcome you all to this session of Geek Week. This is an exclusive session that will tell you the deets about Caratlane and how you can participate in Jobathon to actually apply for the company. So I am really honored to welcome Mr. Ajay, who is specially here to talk to you all about what are the prerequisites of joining and what is the procedure and how you can go through the Jobathon. So hi Ajay.
Hi, Twani. It's really a pleasure to be on board with Geeks for Geeks. I've been part of Geeks for Geeks as a developer for a very long time. This is the first opportunity I have as someone on the other side of the board. Yeah.
That's great to hear, and I'm really happy to have you here, Ajay.
Mhm.
But before we start this session, for all those who are watching us, please give a thumbs up in the chat if we are perfectly audible and visible. Just give a thumbs up in the chat, and we'll go forward. Great, thank you so much. So before we go into the technicalities, Ajay, would you like to give a brief introduction of yourself
About Caratlane or me?
about yourself?
Right. So I personally I have around 15 years of experience in the development industry, mostly the product industry. I've worked in companies like IBM. Started my career, in fact, with IBM. I spent like 8 years there as a lead developer, and from there I moved to a couple of more companies, including Zensar, McAfee, Zorient, and then I happened to come across Caratlane as an excellent opportunity. So, and it was in the middle of the lockdown in the March 2020 when I joined it, and since then I'm here, leading a couple of, you know, excellent, developers here. Okay, purely geeks, and it has been a really excellent journey in just 2.5 years.
That's great to hear. So now let's get into the whole idea of this event. So can you
Sure.
tell us more about Carrot Lane?
So Caravan is an online physical and an online jewelry retailer company. It was founded by Mithun Sacheti and Srinivas Gopalan in the year 2008. The objective was to make the jewelry accessible, affordable, and forever wearable. So there was a Mithun and Srinivas have done a lot of interviews with uh, many women, and with that survey, a lot of inputs were taken through which Gatlin was founded. Mithun itself has, 10 years, in his own jewelry company called Jaipur Gems, from which, he has his own legacy. And Gatlin was founded to give women access to the modern and fine jewelry, which is not only can be wearable in special occasions, but every day. Today, Caratlane is the India's largest omni jewelry company. It has around 150 retail stores across India, and we have the website caratlane.com. We have a website for international, caratlane.us, and we are going to grow the triple the size of the stores in next few years. The
That's amazing to
most,
hear.
yeah, sure.
Right. So can you tell me about the vision and mission of this company?
Our mission is to make beautiful jewelry accessible. Jewelry that not only makes a woman look beautiful, but also make her feel beautiful and loved. That's one of our, and the vision basically I mean, making relentless style of modern jewelries, yet intensely respectful of the traditional norms that we have in India, respectful of the tradition. We always look for a better and newer ways to do things. From the designing that we make to express an experience that we deliver, we are open to interactions with our customers, take a lot of feedbacks, and our prices and policies are always very transparent. That's the business part of things. Yeah, behind that, there's a very large tech system which enables and drives this the whole ecosystem of retail omni-channel jewelry provider.
Right. So, for all those who are typing interested in the chat, the link of the jobathon is attached in the description. You can just click on it and you can register for it. The link is also pinned in the chat box. So, just navigate through the link and you will find the required documentation. So, Ajay, how would you describe the values that the employees at your company follow?
Mm, all right. So, if I you were asked me, how the value of an employee in Caratlane, an employee of a Caratlane is driven by an innate curiosity, you know, how to make things and how to make it better, driven by high empathy, because most of our we are a B2C business and business to consumer, and there is a lot of we have to have a lot of empathy for the customers. See, helping people expressing the emotions is our mission every day. We try to do something every day better than what we did this yesterday, and tech plays a very huge role in enabling that.
Right. So, can you also tell us about some key technologies that Carrot Lane is currently working on?
Oh wow. Okay, so see, we are mostly technology agnostic. Um, right now, we are working in Ruby on Rails, Node, Golang, MySQL, which is our core database. But we also have MongoDB in terms of MySQL, Python for machine learning, Android and iOS. But we have lately moved to much more platform neutral app development, the mobile app development. React Native has been going on for several years now, but we have recently ventured into Flutter, and it has been an excellent experience so far. But being in these technologies, nothing stops us from adopting a new technology, whichever is suitable for the business or something where there's a value in terms of technology. We go ahead and adopt it, whether it's Java or any other new technology which might be coming up.
Okay. So, can you also tell us about the vacancies that, like the Jobathon is offering and that are currently in Carrot Lane?
Mm, okay, our vacancies are across various level. I'll just give one by one. We start with the first entry level position that we have is software engineer one, which is the fresh out of the college, and or people who want to switch from other industry to IT. And then we have the senior, uh, in terms of senior, the software engineer two, it's SA2. Once people get into much more seniority, we get into senior software engineer one, then we have senior software engineer two, and tech lead. So tech lead is a point where you know people, the developers really move into much more core architectural or engineering management role, right? Okay, so that's the entry point where a lot of strategic decisions, developers start to make.
Right. So, for all those who are typing interested in the chat, kindly refer to the link in the description or the link that is pinned in the chat. And I'm sure you will get the required documentation there. Ajay, I can see so many people bubbling with energy. It's great to see such enthusiasm in the chat box. So, can you tell us about the hiring procedure that you follow to hire new talent?
So the hiring procedure is very straightforward. Okay, can you code? If you're a little senior, do you have system design skills? Can you fit into a team? Uh, can you refactor? If you're experienced, we would like to know more about you. How do you think in terms of systems? You need not have to have coded in all the language, but what is your thought process in terms of system design thinking? When we are hiring a candidate, we are not looking for only answers to a question. We also want to know, what is the thought process behind it. You know, the approach that you take to solve an algorithm, a simple algorithm problem. How do you optimize the algorithm, right? So that's
Right.
the whole idea. The hiring procedure is such that any well-aware um, developer who has a good hands-on can easily able to crack.
Right. I personally believe that a person who is able to, connect to the product they're trying to sell, that
Right,
person is the plus point for an organization. I mean, being able to relate to how important jewelry is in a woman's attire. And like
right.
that might not be valid for a person who is doing software engineering or, like that. But I do believe that person should be able to relate to the product they're selling. That gives them a
Yeah, that's
huge push in the industry.
that's an interesting observation, Dhwani. So I would like to emphasize on the point that when we develop a product, we try to closely align with the business and the product team. And not only we try to solve the technical problem, but also why we are solving, uh, the problem. What is the business problem that we are
Exactly.
trying to solve? Yeah,
Exactly. The end user experience is very important in the whole decision making process as well. I mean, if you understand what the end user wants, then only you can make the effective choice when it comes to decision making.
that's
So,
right.
how would you rate the hiring procedure at your company? Is it easy, medium, or hard?
Okay, so I would rate itself not hard, even it's somewhere around easy to meet easy. It will be like a simple algorithm, but not very obvious. We would like you to, how did you approach that algorithm? How do you optimize it? Okay, so it's not we're going to ask you to write a very complicated coding problem. It is not possible to do it in the interview process itself, but more like a thought process. How do you think? How do you approach a problem? Okay, do you divide the problem into different segments? How do you you know and what kind of questions you ask? Okay, so that's what we are looking for, not only the answers.
Right. So, this may seem like a very, like personal question, but do you think that graduating from a good college is necessary to secure your dream job, or are only skills necessary?
Well, we consider graduate as a minimum qualification, but it's not a showstopper as such. If you have something to showcase, some application you have developed, you're passionate about something, you have a GitHub repository, a GitLab, we would like to know more about it. We'd like to know what kind of problem that you solve. How did you approach it? And why did you you know write the code in certain way? We'd like to know your thought process. Okay, so it is not really a graduate is really a showstopper as such. But I think in the graduate actually, and the computer science graduate can give you a sound foundation. At the same time, we have many graduates, in different walks. Okay, and we keep on getting, um, you know, getting approached in the LinkedIn by, by developers who are still in their, schooling, and it's amazing to see their passion about, the way that they look at things in different way. Something which we can't imagine.
Right.
Yeah. So,
So, how is the growth at Caratlane? I mean, this is a concern a lot of people have.
hmm,
What is the
yeah.
average hike an employee gets yearly?
Definitely. So we really hire developers for long term. Okay. I don't want to emphasize on the the hike, which might be, can be numbers. It can vary from year to year. Okay, but in terms of growth, if you're looking for a career, we promote a lot internally. In fact, we have people who are at the lead developers, who have started as graduate hires in our company, and then they also have the flexibility to move across different departments. Somebody who has started as a developer can move to product management, or to the business, or the business to the being a scrum master. And we really want you to enjoy your career, what you do in Carrot Lane. We promote a lot internally, but at the same time, it's the hike is also, like it's the best in the industry. I would say the product based industry.
That's quite interesting. I mean, this type of culture, like really promotes creativity and innovation in people. I personally am a computer science student and I've always been inclined towards product management. So, I mean, this kind of opportunity, really boosts a person's confidence. Like, even if they start as something they're not sure about, but they can eventually move into a place they are absolutely certain about. So, that's quite interesting. So, as a senior engineer, what advice would you like to give to an entry level developer in any organization, or the developers
All
who are
right.
looking for their first job?
Practice a lot, right? Learn to learn to code, learn to practice a lot of DSL Go. You can be from any branch, any stream, whether arts or science, engineering or not. You know, DSL Go, SQL. Pick any language that you like, which you are comfortable with, and attain proficiency. Right? Okay. So, and once after practicing, when you're developing an application, try to pick any problem, any simple problem, and try to, solve that. Okay. How do you scale it? How do you refactor? How do you think systematically? Right. Okay. So it's all about like what kind of passion you have with which language. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for, I mean, for the developers, for the product based companies have to be pure geeks basically. At the same time, there should be one eye on the business problem they're trying to solve.
Right. That's sage advice. So, for all those who are asking about where they can apply, or like if they're not able to see the link in the chat, you can refer to the link in description, or you can just navigate to the Geeks for Geeks Jobathon page, and you will find all the required details. So, Ajay, you recently partnered with Geeks for Geeks to source the candidates for your tech hirings. What are your expectations out of this partnership?
Well, Geeks has been, is there. I mean, is extremely popular with the developer community. And you know, uh, the traditional way of hiring is, posting a job board in Naukri or in other job websites. But we want to get one step ahead. We want to reach out to the developers where they're actually practicing. I myself was have practiced in Geeks a lot, and the materials, the study materials, the approach, details are excellent. Okay, and it's a good community. Almost every developer knows about Geeks. It's a everything developer needs to learn and practice, whether it's Geeks or we reach out to other communities also like Stack Overflow, Reddit, Quora, where there is a developer ecosystem.
Right. So, what are your views on the Jobathon, the hiring contest, and how will it help you in hiring tier 3 and tier 4 colleges,
Yeah.
students, and how will it help them in starting their career?
I think it's an incredible contest. It's also a great equalizer, an excellent forum to demonstrate developer skill and bring coders and the companies like us into one single forum where we connect a lot. Okay, and and really we can hire a lot of really passionate developers. You know,
Right. So, for an organization like yours, what do you look for in a candidate who is suitable to apply with your company?
people who are passionate about technology, who who are very curious to how to build things and how to make them better, have a customer centric mindset. You're not expected like uh, to build an API or a mobile application, but you're definitely expected to code. We're looking for people who can get along well with our team. Most importantly, we also are genuinely curious not about the design and the code, but understand the business problem that the uh, you know candidate, what kind of questions they ask, the business problem they want to solve. It's not just about the coding, it's just why we are doing that.
Right. So before I move on to this last question, for all those who are watching this video, if you have any genuine questions about Ajay, not specific job vacancies, but if you have any questions about Caratlane or Jobathon process or like anything about his experience, feel free to comment in the chat and I'll make sure I ask all the questions. But please don't type in I am interested or job specific questions like you're a Java developer and you're looking for job. I'm sure you can find all those details on the Jobathon portal. So, my last question to you is Ajay, before we conclude this conversation, what
Mhm.
would be your message to candidates who are watching this video and looking for an opportunity in Carrot Lane?
Okay, so Caratlane basically is somewhere you can actually build your career for a very long term. If you're looking for only a coding or job, then it can be there are many companies. But if you're looking for build a career for a very long time, then the Caratlane is a place to be.
Right. So I guess there are a few questions after all. So as far as the Jobathon portal is concerned, there are a lot of like a job vacancies are already posted there, so you can check that out. Yes, freshers can apply. Ajay has already mentioned that there are a few roles for which they are looking for freshers as well. Ajay, if you don't mind, could you just name the roles real quick again so that the like people can move past that question?
All right. So the question is specific to the developer role or any other role other than that.
Roles for the beginners, entry level people.
Okay. So entry level people, we have the software engineer one, which is the entry level, and then we have the software development engineer and test. We call there is no designation difference as such, but somebody who is really passionate about testing things, whether it's security or functional testing, we have that role as well. And then we have that's for the tech space. We also hire in the product space and the retail segment also. That's but from the developer standpoint, these are the primary roles. But once you're getting into it, there's a lot of opportunities which opens up. That's for the entry level, but we also hiring laterally.
Right. So there is another question. How many rounds are there in your hiring procedure?
um, I would say it's uh, one coding hands-on round. We're not bothered about which language you're coding in. Okay. We'll in that same coding, we'll ask you questions on if you can write queries. Okay. And if you're much more senior, then we would like to know a little bit more about system design. Okay. We'll a basic, very basic system design question which has been given to you. And then there is one cultural fitment round. uh, Mostly it is three types of rounds. Okay, it is the technical coding and the system design. We also emphasize a lot on what you have um, declared in your resume. If something you have worked on excellent projects, we would like to know more about it. How did you solve it? A lot of emphasis on scalability, distributed systems, how do you optimize the performance of an application. If you're specialized on a particular programming language, we would like to know more about it. It can be any language. Can we don't work on Java, but we actually do a lot of Java interviews as well. And then we proceed
Right.
from there.
Right. So I guess that's it for the questions that I have. Thank you so much,
Mhm.
Ajay, for this informative session. I'm sure everybody is more than clear about the whole hiring procedure at Carrot Lane and are looking forward. And I can vouch for it that a lot of people will be applying. So let's just keep our hopes up that you will get some good developers for your organization. And thank you for your time and for all the information. And thank you to everyone who watched this session and stayed till the end. All the best to you all. And thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, Dwani, and thank you, Geeks for Geeks, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.